Yeah, man, it's the 11th of May, 2023, and unfortunately, sadly, I'm back on YouTube publicly talking about being molested by broadcast gang stalkers using their mind control broadcast. So when I say that, I mean they're on mind control, controlling a broadcast, living as a broadcast, like a hologram broadcast. And these men, these four to five men every single day on my neural monitoring full time. It was crazy because I woke up this morning, and I mean, early in the morning, and it's like they're fumbling over each other. You know, I imagine like people in a race, you know, and they're like pushing each other off, trying to get to something first. And that's like the scenario with them. And because they're like fumbling over each other with words, of course, but fumbling over each other to try to get my attention first, to say something to me or at me, say something at me when I wake up. And it's very pathetic. I mean, it's unbelievable how sad their life has to be for them to, like, literally, you're sitting there on mind control full time. They're like, of course, they're paying attention to my dreams and becoming a part of my life through neurologically, unconsensually neurologically, through broadcast capabilities, because they have neural monitoring and they're mind control junkies. And that's all they do. They sit around on mind control every day and they control these broadcasts, and they're having the experience of being that broadcast. Look, living as a hologram avatar type of broadcast. And with that capability, they want to molest my genitals. They want to crawl around my private areas. I mean, they're all in my eyes too, and all in my mouth, and attack my heart several times a day, which is attempted murder. Simply put, it's attempted murder. And simply put, every man has a right to defend their life. And these type of attacks, whether they would be legally recognized or they would railroad you otherwise, but in God's eyes, these type of attacks justify defending your life by any means necessary, because they're trying to hurt you. I wake up and aside from the fumbling over each other, trying to say something at me first to beg for a man's attention, my feet and my ankles and my knees just hurt so bad. And I didn't even do anything. I didn't even do anything yesterday. And it hurts so bad because I'm under attack, because they're attacking me with broadcasts. And I made a video about that yesterday when they were attacking my feet and my knees while I was driving. And it hurts so bad, it just brings tears to your eyes, not because you're crying or because you're a crybaby, but because neurologically the pain causes that to happen. And it hurts that bad. Now, if somebody's hurting you that bad, wouldn't you agree that you have the right to defend yourself by any means necessary, including violence or anything else that you have to do? Where are these people? Where are they hiding at on mind control? Where are they hiding at and hurting people so badly? That's the question, huh? That's the question. Because, of course, every man, every living thing has a right to defend their life, right? So where are these people hiding at? You know, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying they're hurting people very badly to the point of injury and even death. And where are they hiding to be able to do this with a satellite broadcast? They're in their homes. Where are they? Right? It's a good question. It's a good question. Anyway, so while they're molesting my genital area, this stirs me up every time, because I feel like I'm being molested by gay men. Okay, these gay men, I call them gay because I'm a man. And because they're on mind control, living as a broadcast, and with that, they choose to molest my genitals. So, of course, they're gay. I'm not. All right, so I don't want to be gay molested. I don't choose to be gay molested. It's not my thing, and I do not consent to this. So it's a sexual assault. It's a sexual assault and a physical assault on my body and my mind, because they want to attack me and molest me with broadcasts while they are on mind control, controlling these broadcasts. And, you know, ask any targeted person. They hurt you all the time. They're all hanging out of my eyeballs and crawling down my throat, choking me and all kinds of horrible stuff. Crawling up my butthole. Horrible stuff. And it's not uncommon. Not in this type of circle. Anybody could become targeted. But if you've become targeted in this way, they're probably doing stuff like this. And, search through the comments and stuff like that. You'll find hundreds and hundreds of people, if not thousands of people. Well, I think like 9,300 people follow my channel. And most of them had the exact same type of circumstances. And so what? So this leads me into doing something. Now, here I am on public YouTube talking about some horrible, embarrassing things. And I believe, the psychological strain that it puts on you. Okay, the embarrassment that you have to go through to come publicly and talk about things like this when nobody else will do anything about it, right? The police, they won't do anything. The government, they won't do anything. Nobody will do anything about this because they can't admit that it exists because they've been using it for 30 years or something like that. Now that it's been public for like 10 or 20 years with any random idiot able to show them how to access neural monitoring. They just get on mind control, decide this broadcast reality for them is better than their physical life to go out into the world and do something. So they sit around on mind control. And typically it'll be quite a few of them together to sit around on mind control and do it all the time. And I think the requirements are your life has to suck real bad. Because otherwise you'd be going out into the world doing something else rather than sitting on mind control full time. And they do sit around the house on full time on mind control. So here I am embarrassing myself again publicly on YouTube, talking about being gay molested by these gang stalkers, sexually assaulting me with broadcasts that they're controlling, having the experience of these broadcasts while they literally crawl around my genitals and attack my body in many ways. All right. And it gets me to thinking about a lot of things. Broadcasts, it's light. It's waves. And even though it's out of the visible spectrum for the most part. Now, I know it's not like far. I know it's not far from the visible spectrum because there are circumstances where you can see it pretty well. And that means that it's not far from the visible spectrum. Okay, so you have the visible light spectrum, and then up here you have infrared. Okay, and then which is one step past red. All right, and then down here, you have ultraviolet, which is one step past violet. And it's very, very likely that those spectrums will be where you could see broadcasts very clearly. So it's got me looking like, what can I use to see ultraviolet and infrared? So there's a lot of different options out there, and it's something that I'm studying. It's not cheap, it's expensive, but it's something that could really blow this thing out of the water. And I would suspect that people who are into the scientific side of photography and things like that, where maybe they're looking into space or doing some kind of astronomy or doing some kind of specialized photography or perhaps trying to look for clues to something, heat signatures or whatever else, I would suspect that those type of people end up getting their neural monitoring over the results of the things that they find when they have that type of equipment. And although it's expensive, you're talking thousands of dollars to get this type of equipment, but is it worth it? Of course it is. Of course it is. If I can show the whole world that I'm under attack from broadcast holograms, yeah, I'll spend $2,000 to $3,000 on a camera. I do not care at all. I'll do it real quick. I promise it's a worthwhile investment. Okay? If it works. If it works, it is a worthwhile investment. And I wonder, how can it not work? Because these broadcasts, we know it's waves, we know it's light, okay? and they're penetrating our body and controlling these broadcasts, doing whatever they want to us. But sometimes you can kind of see it, right? It must be very close to the visible spectrum. And I think infrared is probably one of the first things that I'm really going to look into a lot, and you know, figure out, you know, how to adjust this and that, different type of wavelengths or shifts or whatever to make it very, very visible, because I'm tired of being tortured. I'm tired of having to babysit these mental disordered people. These people are mentally disordered because they sit around. They're obviously addicts, okay, at least. And then to sit around and want to hurt people, they've got a lot of psychological problems. And so if you're targeted and you got a bunch of gang stalkers that you can't get rid of, effectively you are having to babysit and tolerate the abuse and the torture, okay? And it's not okay. It's not okay. I wanted them out of my life. Even one of them now is begging for my attention. Just constantly begging. I mean, begging. Like, you know how a 6-year-old's like tugging on you. Hey, dad, mom. You know, and I'm talking to somebody right now. Right? Do you see me talking to somebody right now? You know, that's what you're dealing with. Grown men, okay, in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and maybe even more, that got mental, psychological problems that act like baby little children. All right, and they love to hurt people, and their life is no good, because otherwise they wouldn't be sitting there wasting every day for years. And I could see, oh, you get a new game or something. Yeah. You know, when I was 12. All right, when I was 12, yeah, get a new game and you're playing it like hardcore for like 2 weeks. Yeah, all the time. Staying up late and everything. Right? And then it kind of starts getting old. Right? And you move on to the next thing. Next thing you're outside playing basketball again or whatever. Okay? Nope, not these guys. Not these idiots. They'll waste a decade on this stuff, man. And I don't get it, and I'll never get it. Okay, you're not going to understand evil if you're not evil. You're not going to understand stupid people if you're smart. But what you can understand is the science behind this stuff. All right, that's all I got to say for now. I'm tired of the whole thing. I'm tired of these idiots, and I'm going to talk about it every day until they go away.